Everyone, I am Sweet Jean Viter, and in this video I am going to share to you or discuss the articles that I choose to present, which is entitled The Philippine Economy Seen Recovering in 2021 with Stronger Growth in 2022. It is connection to the economic terms, which is the wealth, consumption, production, and exchange. It is written by ADB's Asian Development Outlook 2021. And the source of this article is www.adb.org/outlook on April 28, 2021. So let's start. I will just share to you a portion or a glimpse of the summary and critiques for this article. So for the summary, in Manila, Philippines, 28th of April 2021, public spending on infrastructure and social assistance, better progress in the Philippines coronavirus COVID-19 vaccinations drive, and a steady recovery in the global economy will underpin growth of the Philippine economy this year and the next, according to a news report from the Asian Development Bank ADB released today. So in the beginning of this article, it says that the economy of the Philippines are ready to conquer again, to grow faster and try to continue what the economy has been stopped by the coronavirus. The Asian Development Outlook ADO 2021, ADB's flagship economic publication, forecasts the Philippine economy to grow by 4.5% in 2021 and 5.5% in 2022. Substantial progress in the country's vaccination rollout will help restore consumer and business confidence, though uncertainties over how the pandemic will unfold globally and domestically can pose risks to growth prospect. So 4.5% in 2021, it has a big help for our country and for our economy because we are starting to grow. It is not bad for our country because this helps us to overcome and to sustain the economic growth of our country. Our 4.5% growth forecast is at the lower end of economists in estimates, so there are upsides to this projection. It was said by ADB Philippine Country Director Kelly Bird. Priority should be given to addressing the scaring effect of the pandemic on private sector employments, programs supporting workers and firms impacted by labor market adjustments and reforms to boost productivity growth, and investment will help counter the negative effects of the pandemic on employment over the medium term. So for this line or for this paragraph, it says that there are ways or there are progress within the economy of our country, and the government gives their best to find solutions to overcome the pandemic, overcome the loss of the pandemic. So the government expansionary fiscal program and accommodative monetary policy will put the economy on a firm recovery path by the second half of 2021. The report says government plans to strengthen labor market programs and assist in the recovery of sectors badly affected by the pandemic, including agriculture and tourism, will further support a picking up in the economy. So, as we all know, that tourism is one of the affected during the pandemic, and tourists can't enter in our country because of the restrictions. So in today's time, the government plans and gave a solution for this, and our economy will have the beneficial for this. So challenges remains, however, including uncertainties over the course of the pandemic and the emergence of new coronavirus variant across the globe. The Philippine COVID-19 vaccine rolled out may suffer from global supply shortages in the short term, and local community quarantines could be extended to curb the spread of the coronavirus. We experiencing lockdown and quarantines in different part of the world, and it is one of the way in which we can avoid spreading this kind of virus. Inflation is forecast to rise to 4.1% in 2021, up to 2.6% in 2022, due to rising global commodity prices and other supply-side factors. For instance, the African swine fever has resulting in disruptions to the pork supply in the Philippines. Inflation is expected to ease to 3.5% in 2022 as government takes the measures to address supply-side pressure. The current account surplus is forecast to narrow to 2.5% of gross domestic product in 2021 and 1.8% in 2022. Merchandise exports are expected to increase with a rise in global trade as imports, especially capital goods, rebound to support public infrastructure development. ADB is committed to achieving a prosperous, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable Asia and the Pacific, while sustaining its effort to eradicate extreme poverty. Established in 1966, it is owned by 68 members, 49 from the region. In this portion, I will discuss my own critique for the article that I presented. So, coronavirus, which is very well known here in the Philippines as COVID-19, gave us so much hardship to everyone. It is one of the biggest problems that arrived in our life that we didn't expect. Lockdown was implemented in our country, and there are many restrictions happened in order for us to avoid the spreading of this virus rapidly. Our government sets rules and regulations as well as safety protocols that should be attained and exercised by the people. Businesses, work of the people, studying of the students, transportation, and even distribution of the products was being affected with this virus. And that is why our economy was falling down instead to growing it continuously. As the start of the pandemic, we didn't know how we will overcome it and bring our life to what it is used to be. The government provides budget like ayuda and financial support to the Filipinos, especially those people who lost their job and the people who are deserves to receive financial supports. Tourism here in the Philippines were also affected, and it's really hard for our country or for our government to sustain our economy. It wasn't be controllable because we are not prepared for this pandemic. But as the days passed by, we became responsible and knows the way on how to lessen this problem by the help of our government. Vaccines were distributed to the different part of the world, and through this, we hope that we will slowly getting the herd immunity. In the article, it proves that our country was getting better compared to the time that the pandemic starts. For me, vaccines are one of the reasons behind that progress, and I think that sooner or later, our economy or our country will grow because the limits and restrictions that sets will be lessened. Even though it wasn't really big percentage that our country will grow economically, it was a good start for our country because we saw how hard it is in time of pandemic. And that's all for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you've learned something. God bless and keep safe.